All right, guys, ready to start the show.
Yep.
We got two guests today. Well, Mr. Patempa is a recurring guest, of course. He's the head of Maroon Maniacs, in case if anyone didn't know. And we also have Anthony Morales here, who
What's
is
up?
a senior here at Iona College. And he wanted to come on the show. He's a roommate of mine, so
Yeah.
we have him here. Okay, so originally we were going to start off with different topics for today's show, but instead there was breaking news out of the NFL, and it hit us hard
Oh,
in a
jeez.
good way because the three of us are Jets fans. So Brandon Marshall just got traded to the Jets for a 5th round pick, which is really nothing. So that's huge. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's a pretty good pickup, honestly. The Jets really are lacking basically a lot on the offensive side. So the fact that they were able to pick up a very well-known, talented wide receiver like Brandon Marshall is really good. Granted, I still don't think the Jets are going to be that great in this upcoming season. They still need to pick up a good quarterback. They still need to get their quarterback going and whatnot. But that's what I think. Tuna, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's a pretty good deal. I mean, Brandon Marshall's sick.
You think he's worth a 5th rounder?
Yeah, I think he's worth actually more than that, only because he was like more of Calvin Johnson before Calvin Johnson.
He's statistically one of the best receivers since 2007 in the league. This most likely means the Jets are going to cut Percy Harvin, and that means that his salary, it saves them around $3 million because Brandon Marshall's base salary is around $7.5 million. So when they cut Percy Harvin, who I think it's a better move this way because Percy Harvin isn't a guarantee to stay on the field in the first place because the guy always has problems, injuries no matter what. And it's not always a guarantee that Chan Gailey is going to use Percy correctly in his offense. And it takes a load of the pressure off of Eric Decker in the first place, who still put up almost 1,000 yards receiving last year with Geno as his quarterback, which is still the big problem. I think McCagnon made a great move, but at the end of the day, the Jets are still going to have a depleted roster. But this is still prior to free agency. Free agency hasn't started yet. We have around $45 million in cap.
Yeah.
So all that money can be spent wherever it is. Rumors of Revis and Cromartie returning together again. Who knows? That's really expensive. I don't know if that should be the route they should take because they're both hitting Cromartie's already 30. Revis is 29. So I don't know.
Cromartie's trash. But Brandon Marshall does.
No, Cromartie's not.
Wait,
he's not.
Wait, but hold on. I just want to say something about Brandon Marshall. He holds the NFL record for single season receptions with Kyle Orton as his quarterback in Denver. So I mean that's pretty crazy. He's a beast.
He is.
Yeah.
Even Jay Cutler, not this past season wasn't that great.
Well,
Everyone can agree with that. Jay Cutler was awful.
Yeah, I mean
The offensive line, it's not great because Jay Cutler takes a lot of sacks. Whatever,
Yeah.
but still, at the end of the day, Jay Cutler does not. I don't think anyone trusts that head on his shoulders.
Well, yeah, and Brandon Marshall got hurt because of him because he like threw him a ball into like oncoming traffic, and then he got his like back broken and like a ruptured lung, and like I think his girlfriend stabbed him a couple years ago, so none of those are good.
Oh yeah, when he was in Miami.
Yeah, that happened. So
Well,
I don't know.
What do you think, Greg? Starting move for McCagnon and the new regime for the Jets.
Honestly, I'm looking at the free list or the list of free agents in this upcoming season right now, and number one, Dominic Sue, don't need him. I don't like him.
Our defensive line is
That's
one of the
crazy.
best
Yeah,
defensive
it's
lines.
fantastic.
In football. They don't need to.
we don't really-
Sue. I heard Miami's going to be a big player on him. Miami and Oakland most likely places. They're trying to offer him $60 million guaranteed. The highest guaranteed for a defensive player ever is J.J. Watt. He has 51, and I don't even think Nick Sue's near J.J. Watt's level. So I don't think he deserves that whatsoever.
No, he is good though.
He is good, but J.J. Watt, come on. J.J. Watt's amazing.
J.J. Watt is incredible.
He's the best
Who is
defensive-
getting Ndamukong Suh?
Dolphins. I bet the Dolphins would break the bank just to sign somebody like that.
Yeah.
Although there are
True.
problems at offensive line, so they should have gone after who is it? Ayupati's the one from San Francisco that's a free agent this year.
Oh yeah.
That should have been a priority for Miami, but I prefer the Jets to sign him.
Yeah, Miami doesn't know what they're doing though.
Of course, Miami doesn't know what they're doing.
Nah.
They couldn't get Dan Marino a solid team around him. Miami doesn't know what they've been doing for the past God knows how long.
No, never.
My old lacrosse coach from high school was a huge Jets fan, and he'd always make a trip down to Miami to go to the Jets Miami game because it's literally a Jets game in Miami because that's how many Jets, as bad as the Jets are, that's how many Jets fans are there.
A lot of
Miami.
retired fans move down there too, I guess. And the Dolphins
true.
just don't have real. Miami in general just doesn't have real fans.
Yeah,
The Marlins, no one comes out to their games. The only people that came out to Heat games were just really rich people who live down in Miami and just want to go there for fun. Because everyone knows in that Game 6 when Ray Allen hit that game-winning shot against the Spurs, what happened? All those fans left the arena before he hit the shot,
Oh, yeah,
and then they
that's right. I
tried
remember
coming
that.
back in the arena, and they were like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
That's how you know. And even after the season when LeBron left, this team isn't like that bad talent-wise, but they do have a losing record.
Yeah.
These fans still don't show up. They're just not appreciated.
No, that's a good point. They have the
of
worst
a good
fans.
team. They have the worst fans around, so
Yeah.
obviously most of the time it's not really the team they go to play for. It's the weather, the
Yeah.
woman, the nightlife, and the money. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't win often down in Miami.
I mean, those are all nice things, but they don't win.
Very nice
They're
things.
garbage.
What do
Yeah.
you?
Typical Dolphins.
What about
Not saying we're much better, but still.
No, we're trash. Nah, we are.
Going back to our free agency talk, what do you think about DeMarco Murray? They have him as 5th right now in the top 5. The top 5
what
free
do you
agents.
mean?
Nasty.
What do you mean? What do I think about?
Do you
him?
think the Jets should look into getting him?
No, they shouldn't.
Why is that?
They have bigger needs elsewhere. They have Chris
Yeah.
Ivory. You could just go draft somebody.
Yeah.
Because most likely Mariota's going to fall to number 6, and the Jets aren't going to risk taking Mariota. And they could get a better deal by getting Foles from the Eagles because everybody knows Chip Kelly wants another Oregon Duck, and Mariota's the perfect guy for his system. So
Yeah.
he's going to want Mariota. So he's going to trade up for that pick. They're going to give the Jets a boatload, whatever they want. The Jets can get more picks. They go back, they get the Eagles' 20th pick. You could just select a cornerback there or an offensive lineman because the offensive line isn't that good, or a linebacker, whatever is there. They have money to spend. They have Chris Ivory, who's good enough. They could re-sign Bilal Powell for cheap. They could do so many other things that are smarter than just signing a guy who does get hurt often in the first place. He did play most of this season because he had the best offensive line in football by far. And I think most likely he's going to be staying in Dallas.
You think so?
Yeah, they franchise tagged Des Bryant. I mean, he was just at the Duke game a couple nights ago against Wake Forest with Tony Romo and Jason Garrett. So, I mean...
Yeah, they destroyed Wake Forest.
Take that how... Yeah, well...
Yeah.
Duke did.
That was nice.
Senior night there.
That's good.
Okay, so now, most likely... it's not official yet, but Percy Harvin will be released.
Thank God.
Most likely. Where's he going to end up?
McDonald's. Burger King.
So he's just not going to be in the NFL anymore.
Nah, someone's gonna pick him up, but he has
Who?
like a big migraine problem or something.
You think the Raiders pick him up?
No,
He fixed his migraine problem. They figured out what it is. It was his sleeping patterns. Not his sleeping patterns. It had something to do with his sleeping, so they give him a machine to sleep at night, and he hasn't had migraine problems. His problems are just injuries.
yeah, he was only good when Brett Favre was throwing him the ball. Other than that, he's just.
I mean, he tore it up in the Super Bowl against Denver.
Oh yeah, that's actually true.
Pretty much the whole team tore it up, but
Yeah, I'm
still
just
at the
hating
same
on
time.
him because I don't know.
I
want him off.
think Oakland has a ton of cap. He can go back down to Jacksonville. He went to
Oh,
Florida.
good. He should go to Oakland or Jacksonville.
If I was Oakland, I wouldn't take a risk on him. They could just draft Amari
no.
Cooper or Kevin White with their pick. They already have James Jones that they had from Oakland.
He's pretty good actually.
He's solid.
He's solid.
So I mean, they could just draft a guy and then they can sign another decent wide receiver. But I wouldn't break the bank for Percy Harvin. I could see him
Not
going
at
to
all.
Jacksonville because he went to college at Florida, where he played with Tim Tebow.
Oh, did he?
I didn't know that.
So that makes sense over there.
Yeah.
I see him going to Jacksonville, honestly.
Probably.
No, I completely agree with that. That's a pretty good point. Like, who doesn't like going to where they went to college? He gets to go back home.
Although Jacksonville isn't.
Is that his home?
Jacksonville's
Is that his
more-
home? Is that his home? Is he from
Florida. I think Florida is his home state. I know he went to University of Florida for sure, where he played with Tebow. But I really don't know where he grew up, where he lived, and like went to high school and all that.
Yeah, him and Tim Tebow should just stay in Florida.
Yeah,
Not come back.
Tebow.
not come back? Stay
Okay.
out.
Ever.
All right, so
Oh no, he's from Virginia. Percy Harvin's from Virginia.
there you go, Virginia. So next move, if you're the Jets in free agency, where should they look to? Should they go after a guy like Brian Arapco?
Nah.
Sorry.
Nah, he's too old.
Edge pass rusher. Or they go after Cromartie again because Revis might be a lot of money. He might not be.
You
worth
like
it.
Cromartie. I understand why, though.
Cromartie can get. He's cheap. He played for Todd Bowles in
Exactly.
Arizona.
Yep.
They could always draft another guy. You don't have to break the bank for him. I'd rather go get Devin McCourty over him. That's
Yeah.
a safety. You could
We're not
just-
going to get him, though.
Entre Roll's a free agent. Entre Roll can stay in New York. He doesn't. Most likely, he's not going to go back to the Giants.
He's good.
But they were saying Entre Roll is a really good safety.
Yeah.
There's other ways. Iupati's the guy I really want
Yeah.
because they need an offensive lineman. The offense, like DeBrickashaw, has been declining big time.
Oh, yeah.
Mangold's still really good, but he's on the
Nah, he's on the
better
decline.
side of 30.
Yeah.
It's left guard is it's just a whole mess. Those two Jets teams that went to the AFC Championship games back-to-back years had great offensive line and great defense.
The best offensive line.
They did. The year when they had Alan Faneca, that was the best offensive line by far.
Yeah, 2 years in
They
a
made,
row we had the
they
same
were so
line.
good they make Mark Sanchez look good.
Yeah, true.
And the year before that too. Great.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll do it for that segment. When we come back, we are going to be talking MAC tournament.
Big Mac tournament.
I'm going
Nice.
to play Siena tomorrow at noon, I believe, right?
Yes, and we will be talking about that.
And the rest of the tournament and who we think will win. So we'll have all of that. We'll be back in a few.